According to ABC, San Francisco and Warriors team doctor has said that Steph Curry has a sprained MCL. So Dan Glavin, the question now is, how strong do you feel about your Warriors' chances of repeating as champions now that Steph Curry not only has a bum ankle, but a bad knee? You still feel confident in your pick? Your repeat championship
My
pick?
Warriors?
Yeah, because you absolutely abandoned the Lakers.
I like the Raptors.
No, you were a Lakers fan. You work for the
I'm
Raptors.
a Raptors fan. Lakers are 1A.
You are now a Warriors fan.
I think they're the best team going when
Talk
healthy,
about your
yeah.
team.
Well,
Talk about your team.
They're in big trouble. I mean, their best player, the guy who stirs the drink, who scores the bulk of the points, and the one guy they can count on night after night is out for an indefinite period of time. I think if you're part of the organization or if you're a fan of the team, you're really concerned right now.
So are you reneging on your call that they're going to win the championship?
Well,
There's no way, right?
I remember, if you go back and check the tape, I said even if it gets to Warriors Spurs, I said I'm not ready to pick that series until we get there and we see the health status of everyone on both teams.
So you're not going to make a
I'm
pick?
taking it back. I don't think the Warriors will win if Curry is not
About
healthy.
time we exposed you. All right.
Exposed.
Mike Cavalco, your turn.
I'm
Are you
definitely-
buying it?
I'm worried. I'm
Yeah.
worried because he's the engine of that team, like Dan said.
Totally.
They go as Steph goes. And
Yeah.
it's going to be hard to beat these better Western Conference teams down the line. You might have possibly a matchup against OKC or San Antonio Spurs. And at full strength, they give you problems already with Steph. And without him, you're missing a big part of your team. So it's going to be tough for them.
Okay, so Amy, let's jump ahead now. We all pretty much assume they're going to beat Houston because Houston looks as dysfunctional as like, I don't know, Roseanne Barr's family. But Blazers, Clippers, there are other teams out there. I mean, the next round, well, I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably going to be the Clippers.
Yeah, and it definitely gets tougher. I think having at least one more game without Steph might actually work out for them to get back and try to find a rhythm. I know we're looking at 5-7 game series where obviously it changes things a little bit. But at the same time, when you look at how they run their offense, the way they run their transition, they have a lot of guys that can interchange. They like to swarm and get up and down. I think that having at least one more game to do that without Steph is going to be huge. Don't discredit Steve Kerr either. I mean, it's going to be a great series, the next one.
Okay, so we're looking at the Clippers series. Sean Livingston's obviously the backup point guard. I think you're familiar with Mr. Clark. That's your homie, right? You know him. There's the third string point guard.
He can play.
He can play?
Anyone on the NBA roster, 1 through 12, can hoop. And
Okay,
we
all
lace
right.
them
Okay,
up
that's your
all
angle.
the same way. So.
Okay, but look at the series, though. You're looking at a series where the Warriors, the reigning champions, don't have their superstar. And you're looking at a Clippers team that just got their other superstar back in Blake Griffin. And they've had, Chris Paul playing at an all-star superstar level. Where do you see this thing bending and breaking?
I think it's going to boil down for this one is going to be coaches. I think it's going to see how the coaches adjust. I want to see what Doc's going to do if this series does happen. I want to see what Steve Kerr is going to do.
Let's see what Doc's going to do. Doc's going to sign 6 more small forwards. That's what he's going to do.
We're going to see with those adjustments from a coaching standpoint. But it's always on the players, and it's going to be interesting to see if Steph does return or doesn't.
Okay, all right. Who do you have winning a
we
Clippers?
got to get there first.
I know, but we're pontificating
the Clippers still
here.
have a lot of work to do with Portland before we
talk about that.
talk about that.
Well, let's talk about it right now. Okay, fine. You don't want to do it? Let's talk about
Okay.
Clippers Portland. The Portland Trailblazers backcourt finally showed up because this is the key to the whole car. 59 points from CJ and Dame. So is this a series now? You guys buying it?
Well, it's not a series until somebody wins a road game, but I think that the Blazers are.
Did you think the Blazers would hold home court against this team? Because I had my doubts.
Absolutely.
Really?
The Blazers are a really competitive team. That backcourt is amazing. They've shown up for at least on their home court here, and they're a tough out. Do I think the Clippers are going to win the series? Yes, but I see
Mike,
the Blazers extend.
You agreeing with Dan Gladman?
I think the Clippers know that they are obviously more talented than the Portland Trailblazers.
Yes.
And
Kind of like the Raptors Pacers
and sometimes
series.
as a basketball player, you tend to take it a little easy.
So the Clippers could be
Really?
overlooking.
I think
You
that
take it easy
I,
sometimes?
And
not
now with
me,
Steph out, I
personally.
mean-
Yeah, that's what I
But looking
thought.
at this series, I feel like that's what's going on. And finally, that Game 3 was a wake-up call for those guys. And I think Game 4, they show up and probably take one on the road, like you said.
I don't think you guys have a lot of belief in the Blazers. Amy, are you sharing this?
I think same thing. It's going to be very competitive. I'm still going Clippers, though. I don't know.
hey.
I'm still going Clippers.
By
but,
default.
I mean,
Okay, all right. No, something else we have to talk about coming out of this series. Chris Paul. His reputation around the league is like, a stand-up guy, a State Farm ad man. But, I mean, he's got a little bit of a reputation as a bit of a cheater, a bit of a flopper. There's this clip here. You see he almost takes C.J. McCollum out for the playoffs. He looks up, and as he sees that the refs are about to call the flagrant on him, he flops. Like, is he hurt here? Look at these replays. Is Chris Paul actually hurt here? What part of Chris Paul's hurt here?
He's hurt. We don't know what was behind the stands. He might have slipped behind.
He
might
did.
have slipped on a
Mike,
banana or
stop
something.
defending your boy.
Probably slipped on a banana.
Is Chris Paul a dirty basketball
He's my
player?
guy. He's a competitor.
Is he dirty?
No,
Does he
he's
deserve
not
the
dirty.
reputation he
I
has?
don't think he's a dirty player.
Do we need to go back to college when he was for Wake Forest and the NC State hit on Julius Hodge on the senior? Like,
You don't know
that
what
was
Julius
dirty.
said to him.
That was dirty.
Coulda
But
said
Chris
something
Paul
about his
does
mother. We
request
don't
a
know.
lot of, for a guy that's held in the high standard that he is. He does stuff that Matt Barnes and Tony Allen do on a regular basis. How did he earn this reputation?
I think he's
Because off the court, he's a very well-spoken,
all
thoughtful
it
kind
takes.
of guy. But honestly, I think a lot of the players are kind of dirty, and they learn these little tricks that they get away with. He just seems to get
He
caught
gets
at
caught.
it more
A lot.
than the average superstar player. They're
Chris Paul's-
all doing stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, okay. Good to
Yeah.
He,
hear
mil-
argument.
he milked it, but I don't know that was the dirtiest play I've seen.
Okay, it's definitely not the dirtiest player seen. The Mouse and Auburn Hills, that just shuts everything down. All right, that's it for the third quarter. Right now, we got to come back with more of Canada's favorite half hour of power. And we got a quick caveat, a quick note in case you care. The Spurs swept the Grizzlies. I mean,
Yawn.
that series happened. It was on TV. Not sure anyone watched. Anyways, we'll be back with more. Wrapping up another episode of Hello